Hey, economics students, you know the aggregate demand curve slopes down, but what makes the whole thing move? In macro, that's where the real action is. Today, we're breaking down the 4 major shifters of the aggregate demand curve using relevant, real-world examples right here from South Africa. This is crucial for understanding recessions, booms, and policy. Let's get into it. First, a quick recap. Aggregate demand is the total spending on goods and services in an economy. This involves total spending by households, firms, the government, and the foreign sector. Now, a key distinction. A change in the price level causes a movement along the AD curve. But a change in any of the factors we're about to discuss, something other than the price level, causes the entire curve to shift either right, an increase, or left, a decrease. The first shifter is consumption spending by households. Consumption, or household spending, is usually the biggest piece of the pie. What makes South African consumers spend more or less? Let's look at 2 factors. Firstly, consumer confidence and wealth. If people are optimistic about the future, maybe the JSE is performing well or their property value is up, they feel wealthier and more secure. They spend more now. For example, high unemployment and intense load shedding, power cuts, decrease consumer confidence. People worry about their job security and future finances, so they delay buying a new car or appliance. This is a classic factor that shifts the aggregate demand curve to the left. Secondly, taxes and interest rates. A cut in income tax leaves more disposable income to spend. Also, lower interest rates from the Reserve Bank make credit cheaper. The second shifter of the AD curve is investment spending by firms or businesses. Investment is the most volatile component, and it's driven by business decisions. Here are the 3 factors that can influence investment spending. 1. Business expectations and confidence. Firms invest when they expect future profits. This is heavily influenced by the economic environment. For example, when policy uncertainty is high, or concerns about crime and corruption rise, companies hold back on building new factories or buying new machinery. This low confidence and risk aversion is a powerful force, shifting aggregate demand curve to the left. 2. Interest rates. Like with consumers, lower interest rates reduce the cost of borrowing for major capital projects, encouraging investment. 3. Technology. A new technological innovation that promises efficiency encourages new capital spending. The third shifter of the AD curve is government spending. This is the most direct shifter because it's controlled by fiscal policy. We're talking about direct purchases of goods and services, not transfer payments like grants. For example, an announced massive infrastructure spending program by the government, like upgrading the rail network or building new public hospitals, is a direct injection of money into the economy. This is a clear case of expansionary fiscal policy, shifting the aggregate demand curve to the right. Conversely, austerity measures that cut spending shift it left. And the fourth shifter, net exports. This component connects us to the rest of the world. Net exports are exports minus imports. Let's look at the 2 components related to net exports. Firstly, the foreign income. If our trading partners are booming, they buy more of our goods. For example, when China's economy accelerates, their demand for our raw materials, like iron ore and coal, increases dramatically. This boosts our exports, causing aggregate demand curve to shift to the right. Secondly, the exchange rates. This is vital for a small, open economy like ours. For example, a weakening rand, depreciation, makes South African products cheaper for foreign buyers and makes imports, like electronics or machinery, more expensive for us. This typically increases our net exports, pushing the aggregate demand curve to the right. If the rand suddenly strengthens, appreciates, the opposite happens, shifting aggregate demand curve to the left. So there you have it, the 4 essential forces that shift the aggregate demand curve: consumption, investment, government spending, and net exports. Remember, these shifts are what drive the business cycle, pushing output and prices up or down. Master these components, and you'll master macro policy analysis. If this helped you, hit the like button and subscribe for more Econ deep dives. See you next time.